Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me here again in this edition of MV Rugby. And I'm talking Italy versus South Africa, round 2 that was played in Gqeberha, Nelson Mandela Stadium, I think, Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. And yes, what a game. It was everything kind of thrown into one. Controversy, action, brutality, brute force, and then dominance, and a lot of emotion, some really actions getting out of hand, some major kind of controversy that is kind of talked of about long after the game. But let's start off with some of the major controversy. The most obvious one is the Jasper Wiese red card. Going off very early in the first half, there was some real frustration on the Italian side. And I do feel that Fanchetti kind of goaded Jasper Wiese into this one. Basically, after the tackle happened, ball went dead. Andrew Brace basically blows the whistle. Fanchetti starts tapping Jasper on the back of the head. Jasper then wheels around, grabs him by the scruff, and they start a little tug of war, which is kind of normal within rugby. But it's the actions of Jasper Wiese afterwards, during that little tug of war, that led to the TMO contacting Andrew Brace. And then Andrew Brace basically awarding him the permanent red card. Now I'm not quite sure if that rule is already in effect, because there was talk of the new rule, the new red card rule, where you have a normal red card and then you have the permanent red card. Now the normal red card is basically player goes off, he stays off for the rest of the game, but after 20 minutes the team can replace him with another player. Where the permanent red card means player goes off, nobody replaces him for the rest of the game. And it goes according to severity of infringement. So Andrew Brace basically believed that this met the permanent red card threshold. I'm not so sure. I don't agree with him on that, but I mean, this is my personal opinion. I mean, you can agree or disagree with me in the comments field. If you look on the replay, Jasper Wiese basically in the tug of war pulls Fanchetti closer. He connects with the forehead onto Fanchetti's forehead. You see no pain, no reaction by Fanchetti, no kind of cringing or expression of pain on his side. He immediately, after the little bump, basically rolls his eyes and points. Ref, look, did you see? So it kind of felt very planned. I don't think he kind of planned for the headbutt, but he planned for a reaction, and the reaction just was kind of, but plus there was no force, zero force put in behind this connection, in the head. So not really a headbutt. I can't really classify that or define it as a headbutt. However, Andrew Brace disagrees, and I don't know. You guys leave me your comments in the comments field. What's your opinion on it? Do you think that was justified? The permanent, the threshold for the permanent record was justified? I don't know. Let me know. So that happened. Jasper Wiese going off, which is kind of sad, because not sad in the way that we now, one man down, but sad in the fact that his brother, Kobus Wiese, basically came on within the second half, around about the 56 minutes, and it would have been great seeing the two brothers kind of on the field at the same time, playing together for in the green and gold jerseys, and it didn't happen. unfortunately. But I mean, Russia was visibly, kind of surprised by this call by Andrew Brace, and so was um, referee Jaco Paper, which is the rules consultant for the Springbok team. Any kind of consulting about rules or the rugby laws within international rugby, he's the one we consult, or the coaching team consults. And he was visibly surprised by this call. It was just, yeah, I think a lot of us was. But anyway, it is on a certain measure. It is the player's responsibility not to react, and especially not to react in a way that is conduct unbecoming. Now, yeah, I'll agree that Jasper Wiese was at fault. But I don't think the reaction he did was that impactful to justify a permanent red card. Just again, my opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments field below. But for an hour about within this game, South Africa played with 14 men. For about 10 minutes in the second half, we played with 13 men, and we still dominated. A 45-0 end of final whistle score for the South Africans. I mean, this is the very definition of a whitewash. We dominated them in the scrums, in the lineouts, in the on ordinary play, in defensive play, in the attacking play. The Italians simply did not have an answer for the Springboks' relentless badgering of their defensive lines, the masterful line breaks, the impeccable genius tactics that was employed by the Springboks in this game, and it's just absolutely amazing. And I'm going to be talking about that just now, because that also formed some of the controversy afterwards, to the point where even Clive Owens, international referee and legend Clive Owens, basically weighed in on it. Well, let me talk about the one which is basically what happened right at the beginning, at kickoff. We're all basically getting ready. South Africa is the one kicking off. Italy is the first recipient. So Manu Leboeck just basically does a little light dribble or a light drop kick, and it's retrieved by Estraza. Ball doesn't go 10 meters. It's a scrum according to World Rugby law. Now again, this would have been consulted with Jaco Paper by the South African coaching team. So this was planned, completely planned. And I suppose it would be kind of us testing the Italian scrummaging proficiency, if for want of a better term, but which also didn't quite work in the Springboks' favor, as the Springboks basically engaged too soon, which converted to a free kick for the Italians. But yeah, I mean, this is not, according to my knowledge, is this a law, or is there a law against this kind of tactic? I actually believe that the Springboks employed it kind of as a diagnostic tool, or just to form kind of a feel for what the Italians are about, especially their scrum ability. Clive Owen says this could be problematic, and I suppose just like World Rugby decided to change their minds about the scrum being called off a free kick, they probably would now have a real look at the law book in the light of this incident. Yeah, well, if it happens, it happens. It will happen. There's nothing we can do about it. I just think that this kind of will be solidifying the whole kind of thing of the Springboks become innovative, World Rugby then counters. And I feel this is counterproductive to the game. It's not in the spirit of the game. It's a tactic. It's a tactic we employ. Why can't a team be free to discuss and employ tactics? It's like any kind of sport. You employ tactics to kind of try and, get an edge in the game, especially in team sports. Little tricks, little tactics that you employ. What is so bad about it? I don't understand. South Africa employs the tactic of taking a scrum off a free kick because we dominate in the scrums. So now you have a scrum from a free kick, which you then gain the opportunity to make a turnover ball, get a penalty from the scrum, then kick it downfield, get a better position within the opponent's half, and it's your throw-in from a penalty, where it would be the opponent's throw-in from a free kick. It just makes tactical sense. So World Rugby said, no, it hampers the flow of the game. Yeah. We had a game recently, I think it was against England or Ireland, where I can't remember. I think it was in the outgoing series, the Castle Lager outgoing series last year, where there was literally about 30 minutes of just scrummaging within that game, and it literally did not hamper the flow of the game one iota. Clive Owens agreed, Rusty agreed on that point. So, yeah. But anyway, moving on. We get to the second controversy. The absolute genius tactic of making a line out within midfield. It was the first time I've ever seen it used. Ever seen it utilized. Although not a Rassie Erasmus ingenuity move, though. He actually got this little tactic from a high school game. The team of high school Paul Ruiz that employed this tactic first within a game recently. Rassie saw it, liked the idea behind it, and decided to employ it with the Springboks, for which the Italians had zero answer. Absolutely. We employed it twice within the game. We scored a try from it twice within the game. So very good tactic. And the basically idea behind it is, from one of the phase plays, the scrum half would basically take the ball, pass it high, so that a player would be lifted into the air by his teammates, retrieve the ball in the air, come down, and you immediately transcend into a rolling maul, like you're having a line out. And obviously this is employed when you're close enough to the opponent's try line to actually make a drive towards the try line. The Italians tried to mount defense, couldn't stop the rolling maul. Kanan Moody scored the one, and Malcolm Marx scored the other one. So it worked. Genius tactic, genius gameplay that absolutely paid off for the Springboks in this game. Nobody expected it. Nobody, had an answer for it, especially the Italians, because it scored us 7 points basically. Mani Lebok obviously being absolutely brilliant with his kicks, converting every single goal conversion. We made no play for any penalty goals. It was all just tries. For the for the Springboks. Malcolm Mock scoring one. Grant Williams actually from a brilliant little grubber by Valeleru, retrieved by Edward van der Merwe. Couldn't quite make the break for his defender, but he then just passed it to Grant Williams, and everybody was like, no, well, pass to Billy. Billy's right there, but yeah, he didn't. He made it through, scored the try himself. And but it would have been absolutely brilliant if we see our number 15 Villaroo scoring a try on his 100th cap for the Springboks. Very well done, Villaroo, the man, the legend, running out onto the field for the 100th time in a green and gold jersey. Loved it. I mean, the like emotion running high. It was just his moment for that, and we would have really have loved to seen him scoring that try in this game, his 100th cap for the Springboks. But unfortunately, look, he, like every other time, he just creates try scoring opportunities. He definitely did it in this game. So well done to him. We love you, Billy. Thank you very much for your dedication, and make it through to 100 caps. Would love to see you for a long time still after this, especially up to the 2027 World Cup. Please don't retire too soon. But yeah, well done. Wilco Low obviously going off in the 61st minute for his yellow card. But still, South Africa really doing well. The Italians having absolutely zero, zero answer for the absolute brutality and the brute force of the, and tactics of the Springboks. Having David Odiasi and Fasheti himself going off with a yellow card in the second half. So yeah, not their game, not their time, unfortunately, and we're now marching on to the round one in facing Georgia. I think it is in Mpumalanga, the Nelson Stadium. So yeah, that's another game that we're going to be looking forward to, and I think Rassie has already announced his starting lineup for that game, and which will be absolutely brilliant. I'm pretty sure we're going to make short work of the Georgians, but hey, anything can happen in rugby. Maybe the Georgians might surprise us. Sorry, no, I'm being nasty, but yeah, no, I mean, anything can happen. The Georgians might surprise us with quite a few tries of their own. Who knows? Maybe the Springboks goes into the game with a bit of overconfidence, and kind of get themselves caught on the back foot. But yeah, that'll be this weekend coming. Looking forward to that, and obviously next week I will be covering that game as well. But I also would like to now move on to the other amazing team that has been really making a huge impact for South Africa here, and that would be the Junior Springboks. Currently playing at the Under-20 Championships in Italy, funny enough. And they making a absolute dent in the Italians this week. 48-24 victory over the junior Pumas. It was just absolutely brilliant, with the Baby Bombsquad coming on. And yeah, they actually called it that. That was brilliant. I thought I had a good laugh at that, but it was absolutely fantastic. Vusi Simpiwe Moyo, absolutely, I mean, this kid's gonna go far, really, having 100% kick percentage in this game, and basically within this, very, I think he's standing at about 95% kick success within this championship. He is the top point scorer for the Junior Springboks. He's gonna go far. He's kicking better than, I dare say, Handré Pollard or Moni Lebok. He's a point scoring machine. Whenever he lines that ball up, it hits in between the poles almost every single time. Really low failure rate by him, but also Jaco Williams, Cheswin Uester, fantastic gameplay by then Hashim Peed. Really remarkable scrum off there for that team. really making impact. Um, really sorry, and for Simpiwe Ngubisi going off at the 50th minute within the second half for a yellow card. Not his fault. Unfortunately, we did concede too many penalties within our 22. So he was just the next in line, unfortunately, to concede a penalty, and the referee basically sent him off for that. Yeah, also Oliver Reed basically going off in the 45th minute of the game. Yeah, not just after half time. He basically goes off. Really, no, just sad for him. Anything kind of missing, but still, yeah. I mean, the junior Springboks really showed their mettle in this game. A lot of line breaks and tactics and everything that the Argentinians simply didn't have any answer for. The brilliant up and over by Vusi Simpiwe Moyo that is retrieved. Unfortunately for the Argentinian fullback, the ball bounces extremely badly. It is luckily for us retrieved by Cheswin Uesta, and he scores his try in between the poles there. Albie Bester scoring 2 tries for himself in this game. Really well done. JJ Tron as well. And then Hashim Pete scoring his try for the brilliant line break. And then also Jaco Williams. I mean, this guy. And also, Cheswin Uesta is like the pocket rocket. He's like a bullet out of a gun. I mean, as soon as the up and over comes from Vusi's side, he just charges in. He just absolutely charges in, and it's like, even if the ball is retrieved, but he's there to make the tackle. Even though, I mean, and Vusi doesn't make shallow kicks. I mean, this guy sends it way off. It was almost like a competing game between Argentinian fullback Pascal and Vusi to see who can actually send the ball furthest down the field. Also, who can basically score a touch kick, the furthest, who can kick it deeper into touch. It was amazing, and yeah, really good play by these junior Springboks. These teams, and I'm really hoping to see a lot of the talent in the senior Springbok team in the future, because I think that the Springboks team's future is quite set. I mean, with talent like this coming up, we really, we're playing fantastic. And the last time we actually won the under-20 championship was with talent like Peter Stetter-Toy, Steven Kitsoff, Andre Pollard, and all of them basically featuring in that team. So a lot of these wonderful talent goes on to actually play for our national team. So I'm hoping to see a lot of these names running out in that team as well for us in the future. But that's it from me, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We are marching on to the round 1, facing off against Georgia this coming weekend, and I will obviously be covering that again next week. So please join me for that. And from a very, very cold Cape Town, please take care of yourselves, stay warm, and take care of your loved ones. Peace out.